I'm Carissa Turway. I'm here at Mimaki USA, and I'm happy that Melvin Dothard and Lewis Jones is here with us. And we're going to be going over some new stuff in RasterLink 7 today.
Hi, I am Lewis Jones with Mimaki USA. My job is to make it easier for you to understand the different features and programs that print operators should be using with our printers. Today, that means talking about Job Creator. So, what is Job Creator? It is a Mimaki engineered software that works with RasterLink 7. It's a plugin that lets you save presets based on previous jobs. Now, these presets will have all of your print information. So your resolution, your pass count, how you made your file, how you arranged your layers, even how you created your special plates like your white or your clear layers. The good news is, if you've updated your RIP software like you should be doing every few months, you already have Job Creator on your computer. Just click a button inside RasterLink and a new window will pop up. Starting a new file on new material takes a lot of trial and error and testing. We want to limit the amount of testing that you have to do on future jobs. Say you're a business that only makes stickers on the same material every day. With Job Creator, all you have to do is make one perfect sticker file and then use that as a base for all of your future jobs. This cuts down your printing time in half by eliminating all future testing and the times that you're checking if your resolution or profiles are correct. Let's continue with the sticker example that I brought up. Once I have the perfect sticker file for me, with my layers combined and the perfect resolution and profile selected, I'm going to go into my backup tab and save all this print information into one file. Then, all I need to do is open up Job Creator. Press Create, and select the file that I saved before. This will open up a new window for this preset. I'm going to write out my printer information here so that I know what settings are in this file in the future, and press Save. Now, whenever I want to make a new sticker file, I'll just click on these settings, press Next, and load in my printer information here. Now I have a preset for all of my stickers going forward, and anytime I want to make a new sticker, I'll select my preset, go to Next, and then load my sticker information here. If I press Create, a new file will be loaded into RasterLink, ready to print. I hope you've seen how valuable this program can be to your business, and be ready for more in-depth reviews on how Job Creator works from Mimaki in the future.
Hi. All right, so thanks for watching the video. I know it's a little bit choppy, so I'm going to share my screen and go over a little bit more in-depth instructions on how to use Job Creator really fast, and talk about some of the limitations and the requirements for Job Creator. Like I said before, as long as you've updated your software, you already have Job Creator inside RasterLink. If everybody can see my screen right now.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Job Creator is located here in File. If you press that, Job Creator will open up. It's a separate window. As long as you got 4.0 or 3.4, I think, and above, I think it should be good. Some of the limitations or requirements. Hot folders. To load files while using these presets, it needs hot folders to know where to send these jobs and to know what presets are coordinate to what printers are loaded. So it's using the hot folders that you normally make when you first load in a printer. If you're using favorites to make your hot folders, Job Creator won't recognize those. So we recommend deleting your printer and then loading your printer back again to make Job Creator work properly. If you have presets and hot folders, save jigs already in your printer and you don't want to lose those, recommend going to this location on Windows. I'm very sorry. I do not know where this location is on Macs, but if somebody's using the cheat to get Macs to work, but the location here is in this PC, operating system C, MIJ control device 1 preset. This is the location of all of your favorites automatically. So just copy this file, everything in this file, delete your printer, reload your printer, go to the same location and paste everything back in, and you should be able to use your favorites from before, and you'll have a new hot folder that will work with Job Creator. So like I was trying to show in the video, once again, it was very choppy, but all you have to do to make a new preset is press create, find where you saved your original file, press open, new window will pop up, write whatever information you want here, and it will make a new preset for you. Now, the bit that I didn't talk about in the video is how how loading new files will actually look like. Let me try and find. Yes, I have 2 new stickers, and I want to use those files to make a new sticker using the same settings from before. I'm going to load my white layer into the layer that is for white layers, and my color layer and my cut layer. I'm going to use this file that has all that information. If I press create, because I have my hot folders turned on, Job will automatically load into my printer. And if you'll see, we're doing this all while I'm not connected to my printer. Some of the limitations for Job Creator, it will recognize that there are cut lines loaded into your file. If you see here, it does show that recognize there is a cut line, but it will not create cut lines. It won't use the exact same cut line from before. So you need to make sure that when you're loading in files, you have a cut line already created. It will remember or recognize the crop marks that you used before, but it will not remember ID cut barcodes. So if you made your crop marks inside RasterLink, it will load those back again, but you will have to designate that it's using ID cut separately. There will be a video coming out later explaining how that process will work. The cut edit file will identify multiple cut lines, but you'll need to identify what tool is associated with each cut line. Same with jig settings. If you have a jig already loaded on your computer, on your RasterLink, and you want to use that for a file created with Job Creator, that will work, but you need to specify what jig it is. So other than that, it will remember everything else about your file, your pass counts, your resolutions. If you thinned or thickened your white layer, your special plates, it will remember all of that. Orientation. You will have to change the number of copies here. It won't remember the amount of copies that you made in your original file. So if you want 4 or 5 copies, this is where you change that, and you have to do that before you press create. But it will load those copies into the general print tab. So you can get up to 5 layers, and we've tested up to 5 layers in our UCJV 330s using Job Creator, print and cut, files created with white, color, and clear. So you can get really cool applications with Job Creator really fast. So we want to encourage you to utilize this add-on as much as possible. All right, and with that, I think that's all the information I'm going to try and give on Job Creator, unless anybody has questions. Let me see. I do see some questions in the chat popping up. Good job. DTF machine. No, the Job Creator can. The Job Creator is not just for the DTF machine. I know you saw a lot of the presets were for the D300 DTF. That's because there's automatically 300 DTF presets loaded into Job Creator if you do the packaged install. That is an option for when you're downloading RasterLink now, but we've tested it on flatbeds, other roll-to-rolls. You do not need to have 300 DTF to use Job Creator.
Yeah, to add to that, Lewis, I would just say, there's no presets out there. So you'll have to create your own presets for the other machines. So we're going to work on helping you guys with those presets. But if you have some good ones, remember, you can also export these presets and share them across your different computers in your shop or with each other.
I see a question about the 6042 and the JFX 200. I definitely used Job Creator in the JFX 200 and created multi-layer files using Job Creator there. I would recommend looking at your hot folders to see if the correct hot folders are loaded for that printer, and it should work, but we can definitely field some other questions from their call center or call us directly, and we'll work with you to try and get Job Creator working, because we want to make sure you all are utilizing that.
I also want to point out that sometimes your Windows might cause an issue because WMIC is not installed on your Windows. So if you're having a connection problem where it is coming up and telling you that you cannot create a new hot folder, it is because the WMIC is not installed into your Windows. And we will add a link to that. But you can actually go to your Windows system and add that in. It is an optional feature of Windows. So if you're having that problem, then please go and check your Windows.
And you might need to reload your printer if that is the problem as well. But if you do that same favorites tab trick that I told you about, you should be fine. But if there are no other questions, I think we can move on to our second piece. Carissa, is that, hold on, I have one more question. If I have RasterLink 6, able to use RasterLink, do I need to purchase the new version? If you have RasterLink 6, you do not need to purchase RasterLink 7. There is a migration link on the website. I can find that for you to type in your serial key to automatically upgrade you to RasterLink 7, and you should be able to use Job Creator that way.
Great. All right, Melvin's up next.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Melvin Dothert, Print Solution Specialist at Mimaki USA. And in this video, I'm going to go over how to make a very simple, very basic print and cut file using Adobe Illustrator and Mimaki RasterLink tools. Before we get started, you're going to obviously need Adobe Illustrator as well as the Mimaki RasterLink tools. If you do not have Mimaki RasterLink tools, don't sweat it. It's very simple to download. All you need to do is go to mimaki.com. You're going to select the product tab at the top. And then on the right side here, you're just going to scroll down until you get to RIP right here. And you're going to select RasterLink 7. After you select that, you're just going to select the download tab right here. And then you're going to scroll down until you find RasterLink tools for Illustrator. Now, To further filter it, you're going to want to select the OS that you're using. I'm using Windows 11. And I'm also, for this tutorial, using Illustrator 2021. So obviously the most recent version of Mimaki RasterLink tools wouldn't work for me. So I would literally just scroll down until I find 2015, 2024, so that would perfectly work for me. So I'll select this version, and then I would just scroll down until I find a download button. Red download button's right there. Download it, install it, and then restart my computer, and then Mimaki RasterLink tools should be visible in your Adobe Illustrator. If you have any issues, feel free to contact our call center. They can walk you through the full process. From there, I'm literally going to open a file. We're going to start with an EPS file, which honestly is the most easiest form of creating a cut file because you already have the lines in your art file. So there's nothing that you have to necessarily create. If I wanted to, I could literally just put a box around this artwork, make it a cut line, and that would be it. But I feel like boxes and circles are kind of simple, and I'm going to show you how to basically make a very specific kind of cut file unique to the artwork that you have. So with this artwork, I kind of see that there's a background, so I'm just going to kind of lock that in place, and that way all I can select is just like the artwork around. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to create a new layer, and I'm going to copy all the artwork I currently have selected with Control C, and then I'm going to lock that layer. I'm going to name it my artwork, and then layer 2, I'm going to do Control F or paste in place, and I'm going to turn this into my cut layer. So now that I have my layers named, and you can kind of see if I hide this layer that all the artwork on the cut layer is still there. But how do I actually make this artwork into my cut lines, which is very simple. I'm going to open my favorite tool, Pathfinder. Pathfinder has got me out of a whole lot of jams. And what's unique about Pathfinder is it basically takes, right now you can kind of see everything is completely separated, right? Instead of it being separated like that, I'm going to select it all and click this first button. It's called Unite, and basically it takes all the art that's selected and makes it one shape. So now if I select anything in here, it moves it all together as one shape, but it still retains its vector art properties, which is very important. Now that I have it all as one shape, and remember I still have my art file right here, so nothing's changed for the print portion. Now that I have that selected, I'm going to bring open my Mimaki RasterLink tools, and this second button right here is going to be my offset button. The benefits of this is basically, we'll start at 50 just so we can kind of see what it looks like. Basically what it does is it extrudes from what's selected and creates a separate line. As you can see right now, what has been created isn't necessarily bubbled enough. There's still independent pieces, and I don't necessarily want that, so I'm just going to undo it with Control Z, and then I'm just going to extrude it again at 100. And you can see here now it gives it more of a bubble effect. And if I wanted even more space, I can up it to 150, 200, and those numbers are specific to the file size. I believe this is like a 3-foot size image, so obviously if I was doing something that was much smaller, it wouldn't be 100, it'd probably be like 5 or something like that. So now that I have this extruded, I'm going to delete everything that was in the middle because I don't care about that. All I care about is this cut line, right? That's the whole purpose of this layer. So if you bring the artwork back up, you can see the cut lines around the artwork, and that's what it would visually look like. However, this isn't a cut line yet. So in order to make it a cut line, what I'm going to do is the first button in the Mimaki RasterLink tools, I'm going to click that. And what that does is basically make this spot color right here called Cut Contour. Now what Cut Contour does is when you bring any art file into Mimaki RasterLink with Cut Contour, it separates the cut line from the art file. And the benefit of that is basically it's not printing the line. So for instance, here it makes the line green. It's not going to necessarily print green when I do a print and cut job. It's literally just going to print it as if that cut line is not there, and then cut using the green line. that makes sense. So what that clicking this button did was basically make a spot color named cut contour. It must be named spot color. Usually they're process colors. And then the color itself isn't necessarily required. It's more so name cut contour and a spot color. If you have those two requirements, it'll use it as a print cut file. So right now, yes, this will be set up as a print and cut file. But I'm going to take it one step further, and because we are Mimaki, we have the ability to do two different types of cuts. So we have what's called a kiss cut and a half cut. So a kiss cut would be, I want to cut out a sticker so that way it peels and the liner is still intact on the back. But let's say I wanted all of these to be cut out individually so that way I can hand out the stickers. But I still want it to be a peel kiss cut. I can make a square around the entire art file and name this cut contour as well. However, right now they're both called cut contour, which means that they're both going to use the same cut properties. But I want the inside to be a kiss cut and the outside to be a half cut. So what I would do is I would take the cut contour spot color and I would duplicate it. So now there's cut contour 2. Now, like I said before, the important part is the cut contour. That has to remain untouched, but the 2, I'm going to change that to be half. And that's just a visual indicator for me when I go into RasterLink to know that, okay, the half portion is the one that I want to be the half cut. And I'm also going to change the color just for art purposes. I want to be able to see the green is the kiss cut and red is the half cut. I'm going to hit OK. And now you're going to see green line is my kiss cut and the red line is my half cut. So from here, I would literally just do File, Save As. We're going to name this Astronaut Alien. And whenever you're saving out your file, whenever you're doing a print and cut, you want to make sure it stays vector. So PDF or EPS files are ideal. My personal preference is EPS because I'm designing it in Illustrator, and EPS is more of a design art file, so I just keep it as EPS. PDFs work fine as well. And then from here, I would just hit OK, and then it saves my file. So now, when I go into Illustrator, or I'm sorry, Mimaki RasterLink, I would go to File, Open, and you can see Astronaut Alien right there. I'll hit File, and we're going to be using the printer CJV200. We're going to hit OK. It's going to open the file here in a second, and you can see even though I only opened one file, there's 2 pieces here. One is color and one is a cut. So what it did is it basically automatically separated my cut file from my print file. And I can verify that by going to General Print, and under Cut Edit here, you'll see that cut contour and cut contour half, it recognized both of those. In order for the plotter though to know which one is which, I would have to manually go in here. So for cut contour, I want that to be my kiss cut. So on my control panel on my CJV200, I would make sure that cut 1 is set up for a kiss cut. So I would hit apply, so that way it changed the cut definition to user definition instead of panel setting. And then for half cut, I'm going to set that one up as cut 2. So that way, wherever it sees cut contour half, it's going to use cut 2. And anywhere it sees cut contour, it's going to do cut 1. That way it can do both cut methods in one cut file. Then from here, I would literally, I'll go back to image edit, and I would just set the file up as I would any other file. So if I want these to be stickers, make them 5 inches. Let's do 25, and we'll make sure we do register marks. We're going to do layout as whole because I want the register marks around the whole thing. We're going to go down to 24 just to make it nest a little bit easier. We're going to center it, and we're going to do a little spacing. Let's do a 1/4 of an inch. That should be fine. Let's go down to 22 then. And that would be it. From here, I would literally go to execute. And under execution order, I want to make sure I select print and cut. Unless I wanted to laminate it, I would do print first, take it off, laminate it, and then go back to cut. Now, both of them work perfectly fine, but for a print and cut, literally you select print and cut, I would hit start, and then literally it would go from printing the art file and immediately go to reading the crop marks and cutting it. Thank you for watching this video, and be sure to comment, like, and subscribe down below, and let me know what type of trips you would like to see on Mimaki RasterLink. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Hello.
So that one's pretty super informative. I'm just gonna ask if anyone has any questions regarding that process. I see there was a couple of questions in there. So what cut pressure should be used for half cut? So with half cut, there's going to be two pressures that are going to be available when you select it. There's going to be pressure and then half cut pressure. What ideally every material is going to be different. So I can't tell you like universally like you're going to use this cut pressure because every material is made with different thicknesses. But ideally what you're looking for is when you're doing a kiss cut, you only want to cut through the vinyl and not the liner. When you're doing a half cut, your cut pressure is going to cut all the way through the liner and the material, but the half cut portion is only going to cut through the vinyl portion and part of the liner. You don't want to cut all the way through the liner because the whole purpose is it's holding those small tabs or holding it in place. That way there isn't a hole when you cut out the entire image. So it's basically just something that it's kind of like a testing. When you're doing your test cuts, you just got to do a test cut, make sure you're getting the cut that your desired cut that you want, and then you'll have to just increase or decrease the cut pressure based off of that. Yeah, so basically, yeah, if you're getting media jams, I would adjust your cut pressure. Either you're cutting too much into the material. It could also be that the material, it could be possibly running too fast based off of the file that you're cutting. There's also, we do also have a YouTube, if you check out our YouTube channel, Mimaki USA, we do also have a lot of videos as far as like setting up cut pressure on like our CGAR. I think I also did one on the CG FX2 Plus a couple years back. So yeah, there's definitely some footage on that on how to get an ideal cut, and basically the process is based off of the results you're getting and things like whether you're increasing or decreasing your pressure. You do also have the other factor is the blade as well. Like I believe Chris said that in chat. Thank you. Yes, Chris, thank you. Basically, when you're cutting, your blade also dulls because it is a consumable. Blades don't indefinitely stay sharp. And then you also have how far the blade is sticking out of your holder, your blade holder. So you want to make sure that the blade obviously is sticking out enough that it can cut all the way through the material, but you want to make sure that it's not sticking out too much where it's over dulling your blade. So that way you're not, a blade should last ideally longer than like a day of cutting versus, weeks of cutting. And thank you to the other print solution specialists for answering a lot of these questions very rapidly. Why is there a red line on RasterLink? So we get that all the time. I believe in every RasterLink class I've had, someone's always asked that. So what that red line is, and I will actually share my screen to go over that. Let's see, because it's actually a very simple thing to fix if it bothers you. So I believe everybody can see my screen, so we should be good here.
Yep.
So in RasterLink, perfect, thank you. So in RasterLink on the left side here, you're going to notice, like right now I'm not connected to a printer, but you're going to notice that you're going to see a scroll window here, and it's going to have a lot of information. It's going to have your media size. Generally, you're going to have it on auto detect. And then you're going to see right here, it says warning line. So when I go to general print right now, wait, I might be under the wrong printer. No, I'm not. I wonder if it's probably because I can't see a material. Let me do it that way. Hmm. Uh, there it is. That's weird. Okay, so the warning line is basically showing where do you want, say I only had like 4 feet of material and I wanted to make sure I'm printing within that 4 feet of material, right? So I would put 48 inches, 8 inches. So when I go to general print, it will show me the red line on general print. It doesn't print that line. It is literally just for visual purposes when you're doing general print. If you do not like the red line, which most people do not, you can turn the warning line to 0. And now that red line does not show up in general print. Like I said, a lot of people ask about that red line. So thank you for bringing that up. Morning, I was running late this morning. Anyway, you can send me the video link. Yes. So we will have, if it's not already up, I believe we will be posting my video as well as Lewis's video on our YouTube channel on Mimaki. If I believe Mech, if you can link our YouTube channel. I know she posted some of our videos in the past that we've done. So just definitely check out our YouTube channel. They'll probably end up posted by the end of the week. Oh, they're already posted. So there you go. I'm sure she'll be putting them in there shortly. Thank you, Matt. Let's see what we got. Shoes with cutting. It's not consistent 3 out of job. So if you're not getting consistent cuts, what I recommend is definitely making sure you're using the correct blade, as well as making sure you're using the correct pressure. Offering. How do we adjust the amount of media that feeds after each print? I keep getting 4 to 5 inches of wasted material. So that is default on the machines. It's not really a setting that we can change. You can, if you would like to rewind feed it, like feed it upwards before you do your next print. But that is just a setting that is in like a hard-coded setting in Mimaki machines. It's generally there to make sure if you're doing a print and cut job that the print head is clearing that portion. So if you have like anything lifted up like that, it's making sure that it's not going to do any head crashes.
Rommel asked about what causes a Y current error. Sometimes that is because you have your pressure too much and your blade's not out enough. So everybody make sure that you're watching those videos about how much of your blade is sticking out, because that's going to really depend. So if you don't have it out very much and you're having to go up to a really high pressure and it's having problems with it going through the material, it might be that you don't have your blade out enough or you're using too much pressure. So please make sure everybody is doing test cuts through the machine to make sure you're not getting those Y current errors. If it continues to happen, please reach out to our help desk.
Absolutely. Thank you. Monogram output in Adobe Illustrator. It doesn't read the fonts. I'm not very familiar with Canva.
Canva has, I think somebody did answer it in the chat as well, but Canva has certain fonts that not necessarily going to be loaded into Illustrator. So there's not a lot of editing. They don't really want you to edit it outside of Canva. So yeah, there's not a lot that you can do with it once you take it out of that software. Same with the save type. I think the highest resolution that you can get for print would be PNGs, which aren't that great for printing. So try and flatten as much as possible. I think there might be a flattening option when you first load it into Illustrator, but outside of that, no, there's not much you can do to it.
Yes, and that's true. Robert, you can uh, bring them into Photoshop. Um, so I showed this video basically for a print and cut process. If you want to do just print only, you could definitely do it in Photoshop. Just be aware that there will be no cut line available because Photoshop is a raster image editor. Illustrator is going to be your vector art editor. Recommend saying, when I'm tiling the print to, I want to add a gloss finish and it doesn't allow me. Thank you for asking that. So whenever you're doing step and repeat, tiling, I believe those are the only two. You're not
Variable
going to be,
edit.
and variable edit, yes.
Yes, sir.
I believe you do not get the option to also layer with special color, or not layer with special colors, but do a special plate. That's as have you or Lewis, have y'all had the ability to do that yet?
No,
Last
it is
time I checked,
still
I don't
I
think
have
so.
unavailable.
not.
Right.
Okay.
And in that option, we do not have the availability to be able to do layered prints with tiling or with step and repeat, like you said,
Thank you.
or with a cut line. It won't allow you to do one that has a cut line on it either.
Yes, that's true as well. Let's see, is there any way to get around that? So no. What is the difference between 6 and 6 plus? Why do both still exist? Well, thank you, Matthew, for asking that. So the reason why we actually go, I believe it goes all the way back to RasterLink, like the original version. If you go to like our global website, mimaki.com, we still have machines out there that we don't even service anymore. We don't even make parts for, like the JV3s, 33s. Like those are machines that are like 20 plus years old. Same thing like with like a car. They still sell, 56 Camaros and stuff like that, even though manufacturers don't necessarily make parts for them anymore. We still have customers that have those versions of RasterLink out there. The difference between 6 and 6 Plus, I believe, was just more so like an internal upgrade in RasterLink, but it is like a separate RIP software. So if you do have RasterLink 6 Plus, I do believe there is the integration upgrade free of charge to RasterLink 7. But I'm not sure if it worked for 6. I'd have to check.
In the link that we posted, it does say that the migration system does work for 6 and 6 plus.
Oh, okay, perfect.
But 7 sometimes does not support some of those older machines like he's talking about. It's not going to support a CJV 3, or some of those older machines. So make sure you guys are watching that. Also, if you change from 6 plus to 7, it will not save out any of your jig prints that you have created. So if you will take great notes, because once you update to 7, there's no going back. So my suggestion is to go ahead and download 7. You get a trial period. You can check to make sure everything works with your machine properly during that trial period before you switch your serial number over to 7 permanently.
Yes, and that's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Also, like any files or work processes that you have in there, make sure that you're testing that, especially if it's something that you develop that isn't like generic. And generally, the rule of thumb is if it's not broke, don't try to fix it. But if there are features in our newer software that you're looking to, benefit from, I would definitely give it a try. That's what I did while I'm at an in-person RasterLink training at my Mimaki location. RasterLink doesn't register them as an option to install or download. So I believe you're talking about input profiles. If you're talking about sRGB, that would be an input profile. You should have the option to put in input profiles when you go to, I'll share my screen again. Okay. So in RasterLink, let me make sure, yep, it's there. So under the quality tab, no. So yeah, under the quality tab on the right side here, you'll see that I have input profiles. I'll just make a test one real quick. And you'll see like, sRGBs right there. If this is what you're talking about, ICC input profiles, to add those, you will go to printer management, and let's just go to CJB 200, go to properties. And this is the way you do it in Illustrator. And you would just click profile manager. Under your profile management, oh, and this might not pop up because I'm sharing RasterLink. Let me fix that. Yeah, I don't think y'all can see this window. I guess I just have to stop and reshare it. Here we go. Let's just do it like this. There we go. So in your profile manager, there's going to be the option for, input profile tab right there. I'm looking too hard. So device profiles are going to be like your color profiles for the different, banner, vinyl, that sort of thing. And then your input profiles are going to be the ICC profiles that you're referencing for the sRGB. From here, you would click install from folder, select the folder that you want to install from, and then it should show up in your your RasterLink moving forward. Sorry, Mrs. Is there a way? So no, there is not a way to use clear when tiling or step and repeating. If you're not seeing them show up there, then that would mean that it's not an input profile. And in that case, I would just check to make sure. I mean, that would be where all the RGB and CMYK input profiles go. If you are still having trouble, I would just reach out to our help desk, and they would be able to like remote in and kind of see what your specific issue would be. How does the pullback work if I want to print art file at a lower resolution and come back and print gloss at a recommended resolution to save ink? So for roll-to-roll machines, you can definitely use the pullback function. I would recommend not doing it over 3 feet, linear feet. And the reason being is whenever you're printing anything on a roll-to-roll machine, there's going to be a tolerance level for how accurate it's going to be, especially when you have to roll something so far forward and backwards. So if you're okay with it maybe being a little offset, you could definitely increase it even further. But I believe it's 0.3% or 3 millimeters, whatever's greater. I believe that's the terminology. How do I reach the help desk? Matt Collinger just put the chat in there for the chat. So if you need any questions on our service, you can email na.service@mimaki.com or the number that she provided there. When you do tiling and the print does not align correctly on the printed tiles, what could be happening? When you do tiling and the print does not align on the printed tiles, I'm not really understanding your question, Fernando. If you could please clarify. What is the correct blade for cutting stickers? So we have a lot of blades. We have the 0001, the 0003. Those are going to be like your standard ones, that are probably like the most common generic blades. Believe, I don't know if it's 0007 or 0009, but one of those are for small letterings. And you can go to our our global website, mamaki.com, click plotter and go to supply list, and it'll give you a list of all of our plotter blades and what applications you can use for them. There's going to be a
Uh,
lot of crossover with a lot of them, but certain ones excel at certain things.
Melvin, you mind if I share my screen to
Yeah, absolutely.
answer one of the
Yes,
questions that was popping up?
absolutely.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, about the pullback function when you're doing roll to roll to identify which layers are going to actually pull back. It's actually located when you're doing the composition, where you're arranging the order of your layers, like the white layer first, the color layer second. If you click on one of the top layers after the first one, you see these 1, 2, 3. This is the pullback that's going to happen. If you press on one layer and go to retract after print and then composite, you'll see like 1, 1, 2. Everything that's one is going to be printed together. If you do retract after print and composite, now it's 1, 2, 3. So those are now separated. So now the color layer, that second layer, will pull back and do that one. So that's how you make that happen. All right, let me stop sharing. Shout out to
Jose, you
somebody
are
putting
correct.
the blade, uh, a scene from Blade down there. Love a Marvel reference.
Yeah,
You
I
get
was just
extra point.
smiling at that one. Jose, you're correct. It's 0030. My apologies. Yes, that is correct. So we recommend 3 feet is like your sweet spot. Um, Generally because around 3 feet, you're not going to visually notice any offset. Once you extend past that, uh, you'll start notice like an eighth of an inch might be slightly off. When you go up to like 8 feet, can go up as far as a quarter of an inch could be off. So it just depends on how far linearly the print and cut is, and based off of that, like I said, I believe it's 0.3% or 3 millimeters, whichever is greater. I feel like the 3 millimeters might be wrong, so I have to double check on that one. But it is in your manual. It does say the tolerance. It's called the tolerance level of a print and cut job.
A good trick that sometimes I use when I'm using something that is a long option, I feel like the less the machine has to pull back and or the material move through the machine. Sometimes I will make it where it will just read the first two crop marks and then cut, rather than it having to push all of it onto the floor to find those back registration marks. So sometimes you'll get a more accurate cut is if you will select that it will only read the first two crop marks and then cut.
Let's see. Thank you, Carissa. I have a customer that is doing multiple tiles on big print using the tile section in RasterLink. But when the print is finished and he cuts the banners, he's going to put them together. There's a huge difference in alignment. So there is So there is no print and cut feature for tiling. So if you're doing just printing and then you're hand cutting it after, I would suggest making sure that you're cutting at the right spot. Also, if you have overlap selected, it's going to create however much overlap you have selected. So you have to be aware that like if you select like a 1/2 inch overlap, that you're overlapping the two prints 1/2 inch or it's not going to line up.
Sounds like we need to do a tiling video next, right,
Yeah, I'm
guys?
surprised there's a lot of questions on tiling.
All right, we'll do one. We'll do one soon. Okay, are we ready to go over variable data?
Yes, let's have Carissa go over her portion and then we can go back to the Q&A afterwards if anyone has anything that's not related to any of our videos.
Okay, we're just going to go over kind of the basics of variable edit. You're going to bring in an image, of course, and this is used mostly for flatbeds, but you can use it with other machines as well. So we bring it in, and you see I only have one copy of it here over here in my general print area. So now I'm going to select variable edit, and you will see your image here. Then you're going to come in, you're going to select variable edit, and then you are going to go and find your Excel file, which is a CSV file. So on my CSV file, I'm going to select my names. Oh, and of course it wants to gripe at me. Okay, and so you'll see that you've got your names coming in. This one, you'll see that it actually has where that file has it where it's got the first and the last name. You can select if you want to come in here and select where it's to, but really what I like to do on this is I like to make sure that I have both first name and last name together in my CSV file. So how I do that is when you come in, I'm going to go ahead and change it. And I used AI actually to make sure and change this and have both of them come together. AI is very good at working with CSV files or things like that. And notice that now I have it where the first and the last name is there. And then so when it comes in, make sure that first cell is what your names is going to be, and that's what's going to be up here. And then you can decide. Also remember that you can do pictures and text with variable print. So I want my text to be centered, and then you can either choose how big you want this name box to be. And I always like to look to make sure I find the longest name that I have and select that. You can go over here and select which names you actually want in your to be included and which ones you don't want to be included in your variable data. So here's your fonts that you can pick. And in RasterLink 4.0, you now have some font extensions that you can do. You can add underlines to it. You can add boldness to it. And then, of course, you're going to set, exactly what point size you want your text to be in. So then once you have all of this set up how you want it to be, then what I like to do is go over here and put it in a jig print. So what I'm going to do is select my jig print that I have created that is for these 5x3 pieces. And you will see that I will be able to print all 118 names at the same time using this jig print. And once that is done and you have it set in your jig print, then you can go ahead and print it. So if you guys have any questions on this, then please get with us. but this is kind of the basics of how you load in a CSV file into to make sure that you can do variable data. I also want to point out that we are not covering the basics today, but we do have links to a RasterLink video. Sorry that it is 4 hours long, but you can find some really good tips in there, and we'll go over most of the basics, as well as I have put in there a link to some files that will help you guys out, and there will be some input profiles on there, and our teammate Joel Thomas goes over color in the last part of that video, which is really nice. All right, I will stop sharing and we'll continue with our questions and answers. And upcoming, we have a lot more videos to come, and we're going to keep continuing to do this. It's getting more popular as we go, and we really appreciate all of you being here today. Looks like we have somebody asking about texture prints. Pedro, we do have a video that we did previously about how to use 2.5D. If you would like, I'll go ahead and put a link in there to that class as well that we have on our YouTube channel. And I also have a link for some files that I will add as well. And then you can play with those files and you can figure out exactly how to do the 2.5D. And those are some pretty cool files that we're giving you.
I'm seeing some questions in the chat. I'm trying to actually save a lot of these questions to know what future videos to make, and I wanted some clarification. Were the questions about layers in RasterLink, but was that the layers tab or just how layering different files works in RasterLink? Okay. Tab. All right, yeah, the layers tab will have to be a more in-depth video, but it's basically after you've used the composition tab, you've chosen what order you want different layers to be in. Then in the layers tab, you can choose how those different layers are printed. Like you can, if there's a white layer printing, you can expand or thin the amount of white that's being put down. If you want to change the positioning of different layers, you can make your white layer print a little bit higher up or lower or side to side in different direction than the color layer. If you're saying that one of your layers is a little bit off, you can adjust individual layers and how they print with each other. That's what you do in the layers tab, but that'll have to be a more in-depth video on how you use those positionings. I don't want to go into that right now.
Yes, and just to add, there will be future videos, like Carissa said, going over more in-depth processes in RasterLink. I am taking notes on everybody's questions that we're not able to go too in-depth about. So they will be addressed in the future. So again, just make sure you stay tuned to our YouTube channel as well as our video page on our website, mimakiusa.com. Oh, and thank you for that, Mac. Yes, we do have another RasterLink webinar March 27th. Very similar to what you see here, going over it won't be the same
that's
information.
for the files from the March 27th RasterLink training. But I have dropped the UV webinar, Connect webinar that will be next week on the 16th if anybody wanted to join us for that one.
Oh yes, so if anyone has a UV machine and wants to learn some, cool tips and tricks about that we have, as well as new features that we've released. Be sure to register for that.
I know we'll
We'll
also
have
be
some pretty
going
cool
over
things.
ID cut in that session as well.
Yes, yes, we will. So for everyone who had questions about like ID cut, what is it? How do I set it up? I know Mech put a video that I did in the past about it, but we will also be doing that in that class as well. To clarify which session is geared towards UV, so that would be the UV Academy Connect webinar, which is next week, I believe, on the 16th.
Yes, and everybody, keep watch on our events page on mimakiusa.com. We're going to have all of our webinars up there, as well as the in-person events that we have, in our showrooms across the United States. So we'd love for you to come by and see our showrooms and attend one of those UV academies as well, which we will be going over and having a lot of educational sessions in person. And you can come to one of those and talk to any of us, and we can also help you get some hands-on to understand some things that might be causing you problems.
Absolutely. Jesse asks, is there a basic course video series? Technically not all in one. Uh, I will be working on like a basic course for RasterLink soon. So again, just keep an eye out for that. Just kind of going over all the need to know functions in it. And then there's obviously a more in-depth portion to it as well, especially when you get into like colors and layering. Um, we had like a full day course on just color alone. So you can get into some very complicated scenarios with that. So I'll try to create like a generalized version of it. But once you start getting to very specifics, there's always going to be like a case by case basis.
Okay, we're running a little bit over. So thank you guys. If there's any more questions, we'll definitely answer those for you. Um, but I'm so excited everybody came to join us today. We're going to continue to do these. We'll cover more topics. Again, if you guys want to throw some stuff in the chat of some videos you would like for us to see. But we are really dedicated for this next fiscal year for Mimaki to really increase our education for our end users. So please, guys, if you have any suggestions or, keep watch, and we're here for you.
Hey, Carissa, there's one more question. When printing on perforated vinyl, is it a different artboard?
Yeah, I just answered it for him. Yeah, it should be printing the exact same way it would regular vinyl. So the only thing you'd have to change would be like your color profile. Yes, thank you everybody for coming.
Thank you, team.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Nationwide. When you're talking about perf, which is perforated vinyl, like for your car, you need to make sure that you are ordering a material that has a UV liner on it. Most of the time, especially if you're printing on a UV machine, if that liner doesn't also have a perforation kind of look to it, then your holes will be clogged in. So there is many different manufacturers that have that type of film that will have a backer to it that is used for UV. If you want to, please reach out to our help desk or one of our print specialists here, and we can definitely give you some suggestions of some manufacturers that have perforated film, and it can, that will not clog. Yes, Jamal, it is not going to allow you, if you have a clear layer, it is not going to allow you to use the tiling feature. You will have to tile that out manually in Illustrator. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the event. Thank you again, everybody, and we'll see you next time.